In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, where the sun sets over the lagoon and the air is filled with the sounds of honking cars and vibrant street markets, lived a young man named Charles. Despite his wealth, Charles remained humble and always remembered his modest beginnings. He often walked through the busy streets, greeting everyone with a warm smile. One evening, as he drove home in his sleek black car, he noticed a woman and a little girl sitting by the roadside. They looked tired and hungry. Charles felt a pang of sympathy. He pulled over and walked towards them. "Hello," he said gently. "My name is Charles. Are you okay?" The woman looked up, her eyes filled with gratitude and sorrow. "I am Linda," she replied softly. "This is my daughter, Lisa. We lost our home and have nowhere to go." Charles's heart went out to them. He remembered the times his own family had struggled. He couldn't just walk away. "Why don't you come with me?" he offered. "I have a garage that is empty. It's not much, but it will keep you safe." Linda hesitated, not wanting to impose, but Lisa's eyes sparkled with hope. Charles's kind eyes and gentle demeanor made it hard to refuse. "Thank you," Linda whispered. "You are very kind." Charles drove them to his spacious house in Lekki, where the sound of waves crashing on the shore provided a calming backdrop. The garage was large and clean, with enough space for a small bed and a few basic necessities. Charles quickly arranged for a mattress, blankets, and some food to be brought in. "This is temporary," he assured them. "We will find a better solution soon." As days passed, Charles got to know Linda and Lisa better. Linda was once a skilled seamstress, but had fallen on hard times after losing her job. Lisa, a bright and curious 8-year-old, loved to draw and dreamt of becoming an artist one day. Charles admired their resilience. He was determined to help them get back on their feet. Lisa, meanwhile, spent her afternoons sketching in the garden, her face beaming with joy. One sunny afternoon, as Charles watched Lisa drawing, he had an idea. "How would you like to see your drawings on a screen?" he asked her. Lisa's eyes widened with excitement. Charles took her inside his house and showed her his computer. "You can create anything you imagine here," he explained. "Would you like to try?" Lisa nodded eagerly. With Charles's guidance, she began to explore digital art. She quickly learned to translate her beautiful sketches into vibrant, colorful designs. Charles was amazed at her talent. Meanwhile, Linda's sewing business was flourishing. She received more orders than she could handle alone. Seeing her success, Charles suggested hiring a few assistants. Linda was initially unsure, but soon realized that this could be the start of something big. Weeks turned into months, and Linda and Lisa became like family to Charles. His once quiet house was now filled with laughter and creativity. But as much as Charles enjoyed their company, he knew they deserved a place they could truly call their own. One evening, as they sat together in the living room, Charles shared his thoughts. "I think it's time we found you a new home," he said. "We will never forget your kindness," she said, her voice choked with emotion. Lisa hugged Charles tightly. "You are our angel," she whispered. Charles smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart that no amount of money could buy. They began searching for a small house where Linda could set up her own sewing studio, and Lisa could have a room filled with art supplies. Just as they were finalizing their plans, a surprising opportunity came their way. As they sat together in the cozy living room, sipping on fresh fruit juice, Charles shared the surprising news he had just received. "I got a call from one of the biggest real estate developers in Lagos, Mr. Adebanyo. He heard about your story and wants to offer you a house in their new community at a discounted price." Linda and Lisa's eyes widened in astonishment. "Why would he do that?" Linda asked, still trying to grasp the generosity. Charles smiled. "He believes in helping people rebuild their lives." Lisa clapped her hands in excitement. "Can we go see it, please, Mama?" Linda looked at Charles, her eyes brimming with gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly. "This is more than I could have ever hoped for." The very next day, they drove to the new development. The community, called Echo Pearl Village, was beautiful, with colorful houses and lush gardens. Children played in the streets, and the neighbors greeted each other warmly. It was a stark contrast to the bustling chaos of Lagos city center. Mr. Adebanyo, a tall man with a warm smile, welcomed them personally. "Charles has told me a lot about you," he said, shaking Linda's hand. "I think you'll find this place perfect for starting your new chapter." He led them to a charming two-bedroom house with a small backyard. It was modest but cozy, with large windows that let in plenty of sunlight. Linda could already see where she would set up her sewing studio, and Lisa immediately fell in love with the backyard, where she could imagine setting up her easel to paint. "This is wonderful," Linda said, her voice filled with awe. "I can't believe this is happening." "Believe it," Charles said with a grin. "You've worked hard, and you deserve this. Let's make it official." Charles even insisted on helping cover part of the cost, seeing it as an investment in their future. Linda and Lisa couldn't stop smiling, their hearts filled with hope and excitement for what lay ahead. As they moved into their new home, Linda wasted no time setting up her sewing studio. With Charles's help, she spread the word about her business, and soon she had more clients than ever. She hired a few local women to help, turning her studio into a thriving small enterprise. They named the business Linda's Atelier, and it became known for its beautiful, custom-made clothes. Lisa, meanwhile, continued to blossom as an artist. She created stunning digital designs and paintings, some of which Charles proudly displayed in his office and home. She even started selling her artwork online, attracting the attention of art lovers and collectors. One afternoon, as Linda was working on a new dress design and Lisa was engrossed in her latest painting, Charles arrived with yet another surprise. "I have someone I want you to meet," he said, ushering in a middle-aged woman with a kind face and bright eyes. "This is Mrs. Obafemi," Charles introduced. "She runs an art gallery in Victoria Island and is interested in showcasing your work, Lisa." Lisa looked at Mrs. Obafemi in amazement. "You really want to show my paintings?" "Absolutely," Mrs. Obafemi replied with a warm smile. "Your talent is remarkable, and I believe people will love your work. We can start with a small exhibition and see how it goes." Lisa's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Thank you, I'd love that." As the days turned into weeks, Lisa worked tirelessly to prepare for her exhibition. She created a series of paintings inspired by the vibrant colors and scenes of Lagos, capturing the spirit of the city she called home. Charles and Linda watched with pride as she poured her heart into each piece. Finally, the day of the exhibition arrived. The gallery was filled with people, all eager to see Lisa's artwork. Charles and Linda beamed with joy, knowing how far they had come. As the evening drew to a close, a well-dressed man approached Lisa. "Your work is incredible," he said, handing her a business card. "We'd like to offer you a scholarship to study art abroad." Lisa looked at the card, then at her mother and Charles, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Really?" she whispered. Mr. Alumide nodded. You have a gift, and we'd love to help you develop it further. Tears of happiness filled Linda's eyes. This is unbelievable, she said. We are so grateful. Charles placed a reassuring hand on Lisa's shoulder. You deserve this, he said softly. Go follow your dreams. We'll always be here to support you. Lisa hugged her mother tightly, overwhelmed with emotion. I promise. As they drove home that night, Lisa couldn't stop talking about her future. She dreamed of traveling the world, learning from the best artists, and bringing her stories to life on canvas. Charles listened, his heart swelling with pride. He knew that this was just the beginning for Lisa and Linda. With their talent, determination, and the support of their newfound family, the sky was the limit. Months flew by in a whirlwind of excitement and change for Linda and Lisa. She was set to travel to Paris for a summer art program, renowned for nurturing young talent. As the departure date approached, a mix of anticipation and nervousness filled their home in Echo Pearl Village. Charles, ever the supportive friend, helped Linda and Lisa prepare for this new adventure. He arranged for French lessons and gathered information about the best places to visit in Paris. You have to try the croissants, he told Lisa one day. They're the best in the world. On the day of her departure, Lisa stood at the airport, her heart racing with excitement. She hugged Linda tightly, then turned to Charles. Thank you for everything, she said, her voice filled with gratitude. I'll make you proud. Charles smiled warmly. You already have, he replied. Go show the world your magic. As Lisa boarded the plane, Linda and Charles watched with pride and a hint of sadness. She's growing up so fast, Linda said, wiping away a tear. She's going to do amazing things, Charles reassured her. And we'll be right here, cheering her on. With Lisa off to Paris, Linda focused on expanding her business. Linda's atelier was thriving, and she began to explore new opportunities to reach a larger audience. One day, while browsing online, she stumbled upon an invitation to a fashion show in Johannesburg, South Africa, showcasing African designers. Linda's heart skipped a beat. She had always dreamt of sharing her designs with the world. Charles, she called excitedly, what do you think about me participating in this fashion show? Charles looked at the invitation and smiled. I think it's a fantastic idea. You've come so far, and this is a great opportunity to showcase your talent. With Charles's encouragement, Linda applied for the show. Weeks later, she received the acceptance letter. She was overjoyed. I'm going to Johannesburg, she exclaimed, hugging Charles. As Linda prepared for the fashion show, Charles noticed something was changing within himself. Helping Linda and Lisa had brought him immense joy and a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a long time. His once singular focus on business success now included a deeper, more personal fulfillment. One evening, as they sat discussing Linda's designs for the show, Charles shared his thoughts. You know, helping you and Lisa has been the most rewarding experience of my life, he said. I've been thinking about how I can do more of this, supporting others in our community. Linda looked at him thoughtfully. You have a gift for bringing out the best in people, she said. Maybe you could start a foundation or a mentorship program to help others like us. Charles nodded slowly. That's a great idea. I want to create something that lasts, something that can make a real difference. As they brainstormed ideas for the foundation, Charles felt a new sense of purpose taking root. He envisioned a place where young entrepreneurs and creatives could find the support and resources they needed to succeed. It would be a way to give back to the community that had given him so much. Meanwhile, in Paris, Lisa was thriving. She sent pictures of her paintings and stories of her adventures exploring the city. Her instructors praised her talent, and she felt her confidence growing with each passing day. Back in Lagos, Charles's days were filled with meetings and planning for his new foundation. He decided to name it Hope Horizons, symbolizing the endless possibilities for those willing to work hard and dream big. One sunny afternoon, as Charles was finalizing the details for the foundation's launch, he received a call from Lisa. Her voice was bubbling with excitement. "Charles, guess what? I've been invited to exhibit my work at a gallery here in Paris. They want to feature my paintings in a special showcase." "That's incredible," Charles replied, beaming with pride. "You're amazing, Lisa. And I was hoping. Do you think you and Mama could come?" Charles's heart warmed at the thought. "Of course we will. We wouldn't miss it for the world." Linda was equally thrilled when she heard the news. "I can't wait to see her again," she said, her eyes shining. And in Paris, no less. With the foundation's plans in place and Linda's preparations for the fashion show on track, they decided to make the trip to Paris together. It would be a celebration of their journey, their successes, and the new paths they were forging. As the plane touched down in Paris, Charles, Linda, and Lisa reunited in a flurry of hugs and laughter. They spent their days exploring the city, visiting art galleries, and savoring the delicious French cuisine. Lisa's exhibition was a huge success, drawing admirers from all over the city. Her paintings, rich with the colors and stories of Lagos, captivated the audience. At the end of the exhibition, as they stood together looking at Lisa's work, Charles felt a deep sense of contentment. They had all come so far, and their futures were filled with endless possibilities. On their last evening in Paris, they sat by the Seine, watching the city lights twinkle on the water. "Thank you," Lisa said, looking at Charles and her mother, "for believing in me. For everything." Charles smiled, his heart full. "You've always had the talent and the spirit," he said. "We're just here to cheer you on." Linda nodded, her eyes filled with pride. "And we always will be." As they watched the lights dance on the water, they knew that this was just the beginning of their story. Together, they would continue to dream, to support each other, and to create a future filled with hope and possibility. Returning from Paris, Charles, Linda, and Lisa were filled with renewed energy and dreams. Lisa's exhibition had been a resounding success, and it was clear she was destined for great things in the art world. Linda's upcoming fashion show in Johannesburg was fast approaching, and Charles's foundation, Hope Horizons, was ready to launch. Back in Lagos, Charles wasted no time. He organized a grand event to introduce Hope Horizons to the community. The launch took place in a beautiful venue overlooking the Lagos Lagoon. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation as guests from all walks of life gathered to learn about the new foundation. Charles stood at the podium, looking out at the audience. He took a deep breath, reflecting on his journey and the incredible people who had become part of his life. Hope Horizons is about more than just providing resources, he began. It's about creating opportunities, nurturing dreams, and building a community where everyone has the chance to succeed. Together, we can make a difference. The audience erupted in applause. As the evening continued, guests mingled and shared their own stories and aspirations. Linda and Lisa were by Charles's side, beaming with pride. The weeks leading up to Linda's fashion show were a whirlwind of creativity and hard work. She poured her heart into her designs, creating a collection that blended traditional African fabrics with modern styles. Each piece told a story, capturing the essence of her journey and the vibrant spirit of Lagos. When they arrived in Johannesburg, Linda was both nervous and excited. The city buzzed with energy, and the fashion show was a major event, attracting designers and fashion lovers from across the continent. As Linda's models strutted down the runway, wearing her stunning creations, the audience was captivated. The applause grew louder with each outfit, and by the end of the show, they were on their feet, cheering. Backstage, Linda hugged Charles and Lisa, tears of joy streaming down her face. "We did it," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "We really did it." Charles smiled, his heart swelling with pride. "You did it, Linda. You've shown the world your talent and your spirit." Linda's collection was an instant hit. She received offers from buyers and fashion houses, eager to collaborate with her. The exposure from the show propelled her business to new heights. Back in Lagos, Lisa continued to flourish as an artist. The success of her exhibition in Paris had opened doors she had never imagined. She was offered a scholarship to study at a prestigious art school in London and received commissions from art collectors around the world. Lisa's days were filled with painting, studying, and planning her future. She dreamed of one day opening her own gallery, a place where young artists from all over Africa could showcase their work. "I want to give others the chance you gave me," she told Charles one evening, "to share their stories and their art with the world." Charles nodded, seeing in her the same spirit of giving and community that had driven him to start Hope Horizons. "You'll do amazing things, Lisa. I know you will." As Linda and Lisa pursued their dreams, Charles dedicated himself to growing Hope Horizons. The foundation quickly became a beacon of support for young entrepreneurs and creatives in Lagos. It offered mentorship programs, funding opportunities, and workshops designed to help people develop their skills and turn their ideas into reality. Charles took a personal interest in each participant, guiding them, sharing his own experiences, and helping them navigate the challenges of starting a business. The foundation became a thriving community, filled with innovation and collaboration. One day, as Charles walked through the bustling offices of Hope Horizons, he stopped to watch a group of young entrepreneurs working on a new project. Their energy and enthusiasm were contagious. He realized that this was his true calling, not just to build his own success, but to empower others to achieve theirs. Years passed, and the small, unexpected encounter on a roadside in Lagos had blossomed into something beautiful and transformative. Linda's fashion empire continued to grow, with her designs gracing runways around the world. She became a mentor to aspiring designers, sharing her story and inspiring others to pursue their dreams. Lisa's art took her to new heights. She held exhibitions in major cities and opened her own gallery in Lagos, just as she had dreamed. Her work, rich with the colors and stories of her heritage, captivated audiences everywhere. She used her success to support young artists, providing them with opportunities and platforms to showcase their talents. Hope Horizons expanded its reach, touching the lives of countless young people across Nigeria. It became a symbol of hope and possibility, a testament to what could be achieved with a little help and a lot of determination. Charles found fulfillment not in his wealth, but in the lives he had touched and the community he had helped build. He watched with pride as Linda, Lisa, and so many others flourished, knowing that their success was the greatest reward of all. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter and music from a nearby celebration. They had come so far, From that moment on the roadside to this moment of triumph and joy. We've built something incredible, Linda said softly, looking at Charles and Lisa. Something that will last. Lisa nodded, her eyes shining with pride. We've created a family, she said. One that will keep growing and supporting each other. Charles smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment. And it all started with a simple act of kindness, he said. Never underestimate the power of a kind heart. As they sat together, watching the stars twinkle above, they knew that their story was just one of many in the vast tapestry of life. A story of hope, of dreams, and of the incredible things that can happen when people come together to support each other. And so, their journey continued, filled with new adventures, challenges, and the unbreakable bond of friendship and love.